What's up, everybody? Jared here for TGN and the Smoking Android. And today, what's this? We've got the LG Optimus L5 back in our hands again. Generally when I review devices, I like to, hang out with them for about between a week to 2 weeks to give you guys at least a bit of an honest opinion and review of the devices, of maybe any bugs, things like that I may have found, and pros and cons, things like that, right? But because this is a entry-level device, actually, on a side note, it's, in my personal opinion, it's a subpar entry-level device, but that's a story for another day. I still wanted to review the device because, although there's tons of super phones out there, the Galaxy S3, 1X, the, LG Optimus 4X, the new Evo 4G LTE, all these great devices out there, but there's still a handful of people out there that just don't need those devices, and they're still looking for a smartphone, but they don't want to fork out the big bucks, and so that's kind of where we're at here. Plus, it's also interesting to check out the technology that goes behind these entry-level devices these days. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into the review here. Now, size-wise, we're looking at 118.3 by 66.5 by 9.88. Weight-wise, it is 122 grams, so a fairly light phone. It does have a 4-inch display with the resolution of 320 by 480. Now, I don't know if you've seen my sort of first look hands-on video with this device when I first got it, but with the 320 by 480, it's obviously a pretty low resolution screen. And I'm getting a text message. I don't know if you heard that. All right, so the battery itself is actually a 1540 milliamp battery. Yes, it is removable, and yes, I love seeing that. As you can see, it does have a slot for a standard size SIM card, and we do have an expandable SD card slot. Now, it does come with I can't remember, is it 2.4, 2.5? I've got mixed search results when I was looking this information up. But let's just say 2.5 gigabytes of internal storage, and the expandable SD card slot here is 32 gigabytes. So that's something to keep in mind. You can always, add some more storage if you need to. Also, you'll notice here on the back door, first of all, I don't know if I mentioned this in the first video I made of this phone, but it's a very thick battery door here, as you can see there. It's not like your it's still flimsy, of course, it's plastic, right? But it's not like Samsung's phones with their trademark paper thin battery doors. But we do have the NFC chip built in here, so that means that you can purchase third-party batteries, whether it be expanded or just extra batteries, and you don't have to worry about losing that NFC capability. However, personally, if you have a device like this, a nice cheap sort of entry-level device, you probably won't be using NFC. Now, looking around to the front of the phone here, I know you can't make it out, and by the way, this does come in white, so if you're in the market for something like this and you don't really like the black color, you can go for white. But anyways, top left-hand corner, I know you can't see, but we actually do have our light and proximity sensors. No, this does not have an LED indicator. Disappointing, I know. The only other sensor that it does have built in is the accelerometer. Again, another phone that doesn't come with a gyroscope, which is a little confusing to me. But it's not the end of the world. The processor in this beast is actually a Qualcomm processor, the same Qualcomm processor that's found in the LG Optimus L7. However, it's been underclocked from 1 gigahertz to 800 megahertz, which is really, really strange. It does come with 512 megabytes of RAM, which is the same as the L7. That's very, very, very low RAM. I mean, even for an entry-level device, they could have at least thrown it in like 712 or whatever the increment is. So that's as well as now we're still looking at the front of the phone here. I kind of sidetracked. Sorry about that. We do have some capacitive buttons here, as you can see. You've got your back capacitive button and our menu button as well. And of course, we have our speaker up at the top there and the microphone located down at the bottom. But we haven't even gotten to the bottom of the phone yet. No front-facing camera. No front-facing camera. So some of you out there that do like to take portrait shots or, do some video calling, you might be disappointed. But again, it is an entry-level device and it's cheap, and we'll get to the price point a little bit later on in the video. Looking at the top of the device here, allow me to refocus. Zoop. We do have our standard 3.5 millimeter headphones jack, as well as our power on-off button, screen lock button, whatever you want to call it. Moving to the right side of the device, as you can see, there's absolutely nothing. Left side of the device, we have our volume rockers. Volume rocker, I like. You know, I'm a big stickler for physical buttons. You know, how well they feel in my hand, the ergonomics of it, the whole 9 yards, and I like it. It gives a very slim profile. However, it's very easy to touch. Very, very easy to operate. Moving around to the bottom of the device, as you can see here, we do have our micro USB port as well as our microphone, like I mentioned before prematurely. Moving around to the back. Oh, and by the way, I haven't been able to find any noise cancellation microphones, so just keep that in mind. Call quality to your recipient may be a bit degraded compared to what they may be used to hearing you. The audio quality. Anyways, 5 megapixel camera. It is capable of recording video in VGA. So that's a resolution of like 640 by something. It's a bit disappointing. I think that if they at least let us record in 720, you know, I don't know. But anyways, we do have our LED flash as well. And of course, you've got your little NFC sort of emblem on the back there. Now, the back material here of the battery door, it's actually kind of got this bit of a grippy sort of pattern going on there. I do like it. And the overall ergonomics of the device is really, really nice in the hand. I really love these rounded edges there. I think it's very obvious. It reminds me a lot like my Samsung Galaxy S3 with the really rounded, curved edges all around it. Fantastic feeling phone, even though the front looks like a big, blocky, square, rectangle type thing. And of course, we have our speaker down at the back there. One more thing I did want to add, aside from the NFC capabilities, it actually does have DLNA support. So if you do have some media, some pictures, some movies, things like that, you can actually stream them to your media player from this device. Whether it'll actually be rendering it or playing it in you know, if you have like a 1080p or a high definition audio file, I have no idea. And if it does play it, I could imagine it would probably be super, super laggy. Now let's go ahead and jump into the device here. As you can see, we have a pretty abysmal display here. Again, it is an entry-level device, so you're not supposed to expect anything crazy there. We do have our shortcuts down at the bottom there. From what I understand, you can't change those around. Cool little lock screen animation, as you can see there. It's just starts to kind of open up the rest of the page. As you'll notice, I do have a live wallpaper loaded up. The live wallpaper tends to lag a bit. However, it doesn't seem to hinder the performance of switching from home screen to home screen. Keeping in mind that might have something to do with it running Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, actually Android 4.0.3 Ice Cream Sandwich. So it was really interesting to see that. I mean, I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but the little lines there for the live wallpaper here tend to be a little bit laggy. And again, like I just mentioned, very smooth scrolling, which was really, really surprising to me. One other thing that I wanted to mention is if you click on the menu button while you're at the home screens here and you click on home settings, there actually gives you quite a bit of customization options. You can obviously change the animations, wallpaper, scroll wallpaper, scroll screens circularly. But I like this swipe effect. You've got all these different cool effects. So let's go ahead and just choose, for instance, Breeze. We'll go back to the home, and it changes. So as you can see there, it's kind of going like that. Let's go back here so you can see the icons there. As you can see, that's the animation there. We'll go back to home settings, click on, swipe effect. We go down to, I don't know, panorama. Let's try this. As you can see there, a little bit different, right? So lots of options to change around the look of the home screen, which I thought was pretty cool. Very limited in bloatware applications, which I really like to see. Of course, there's always going to be some carrier bloatware on there and a couple of proprietary applications. But for the most part, it's actually pretty limited. And I was happy to see that. In terms of applications that are preloaded on it, of course, we've got a bunch of stock, average things that you find, alarm clocks. You got your application manager, calendar, things like that. Moving on from there, what else we got here? So you've got your LG NFC tags. When you do buy this device, it does come with an NFC tag in the box. Unfortunately, when LG sent me the device, they just sent me the device and the charging cable and the charging block, and that was it. So I would have really, really liked to demonstrate that for you guys, but unfortunately, we won't be able to do that today. What else have we got? We've got some Polaris Office, some just real basic apps. They do have their own voice control application. However, it is extremely limited. And of course, we do have our categorizations, things like that. You'll notice that I have downloaded Agent Dash. Agent Dash is a new game on the Android market. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of it. However, for some strange reason, it won't run the device. It installs, it starts loading up, and I think just before it's about to launch the game, or at least get into the game, it crashes on me and actually reboots the phone. And that's not the only game I've tried. Multimedia-wise, if we're going to be on that topic, this is not a multimedia device. This is really for that person, say for instance your parents, they've never owned a smartphone before, they don't want to spend a whole lot of money, they don't need all the capabilities of the device that you probably have in your hand. So this is a really great alternative. So, if they're not planning on playing video games, watching Netflix, movies, the whole 9 yards, I really truly believe this is a fantastic option for them. Just because of the price. I think it's about $250 unlocked from Bella Mobility. I'm going to double check that later on in the video, but I'm pretty darn sure that's what it is. Widgets, we've got a lot of just stock basic widgets here. Nothing too fancy, obviously, because it is an entry-level device. As you can see here, just nothing really too crazy. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to show you in just a minute there. We'll go into the settings here, and you can start mucking around with these. You can actually start expanding and creating more and more windows or... like categorization. So, you see these little sort of like panes here. I can actually drag and drop them and start creating more, which I thought was pretty cool. Moving down the notification panel there, what I really like to see is that even though this is an entry-level device, it does actually have a bunch of toggles, power control toggles up at the top, and guess what? You can actually edit them, move them around, and everything, which I thought was really cool. I don't know... Yep, so you can also add a whole bunch of other toggles to that menu as well, which I thought was really fantastic to see. That was something a little bit unexpected. Getting into the settings here, we're not really looking at a whole what am I trying to say here? We're not looking at a whole lot of changes here or a whole lot of additions or anything like that. Really, there isn't a whole lot to show you in the settings menu here, as there normally is with, say, for instance, some higher end Android devices. So that's pretty much it. Now, as you can see, the screen. One thing I did want to mention to you guys is the viewing angles of this device. Unless you're looking at it directly on, viewing angles start getting washed out very quickly from the side here. As you can see, it starts to disappear. As well as when I was watching some YouTube videos, I don't know what it was, and I'm blaming it specifically on the display and the low resolution. It started to hurt my eyes. It was actually truthfully straining my eyes. Now, that may be because I'm used to higher definition displays both on my phone, my computer, and my televisions, so I don't really know what was going on there, but it was really hard to actually see. It was easier when I closed one eye. I'm not lying. I closed one of my eyes in order to watch an entire YouTube video on this device, so that was really strange. Camera. The camera here is, what it is. It's a 5 megapixel camera with a bunch of limitations. We look into the settings here. You've got some different settings that you can choose from. Nothing too fancy here. It is a bit slow in taking pictures. Actually, the first picture it takes relatively quickly. Thereafter, it starts to get a little bit slower. It seems to be doing pretty good right now, but there you go. We had like a 2-second lag. There's another 1.5 second lag. So nothing crazy. Again, it does record video in VGA, so don't expect to make any high quality movies or anything like that. But anyways, guys, that's it. Oh, and it does come with the stock Android keyboard. There's a lot of stock things going on here, which I like to see as well. It seems like a lot of companies are starting to take on the whole stock look. They're starting to learn that customers don't like these custom manufacturer overlays, and they're starting to change things slowly. But anyways, guys, that's basically, this video is already running too long for what the device is. It's a pretty decent entry-level device. I would probably chalk it up to in and around like the very first HTC Hero that I actually happen to own and still have for some reason. However, the HTC Hero seemed to have a much better display on it than this thing. I'm really confused why they put such a low-quality display on it. But whatever, for the price... You can't go wrong. So yeah, great device. Price-wise, I'm looking at the website right now, and it is $200. From what I understand, it comes unlocked, no contract term pricing. So $200, $200, no contract. I mean, this is the phone for your parents, guys, or your grandma, or whoever. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching. You know, little video on an entry-level device. Always interesting to find out what they're coming out with these days for lower end devices. For TGN, the Smoking Android, my name is Jared. Thanks again for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, you might want to consider clicking that like button down below. Really appreciate it. I always appreciate the likes from you guys. Love you guys very much. Also, if you haven't already, you might want to consider subscribing for more videos like this in the future. And if you are looking for app reviews, hacks, mods, and other device reviews, maybe check out my channel. I've got a whole bunch of other stuff there as well. Until next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video. I'm really tired of saying until next and we'll see you in the next video. It's like 2 nexts within 1 sentence. Yeah. Anyways, I'm done. We'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.